No.
So we can just speak.
Yeah. Keep going. So when you two were little, we'd come walking up here and we'd see this hill and we'd think that looks like a sleeping dragon. And we imagined that there were 10 dragons that lived hidden in a secret cave up this hill in the Forest of Bowland. And when we were walking and out and about, you'd say, can we have a 10 dragon story? And I'd make up 10 dragon stories, and then we'd look around for clues that there may be dragons living up here. Where should we put the blanket? Great. So I wrote the Sunburst City Dragons books based on family stories we used to make out about 10 dragons that lived in secret in a cave halfway up this hill in the Forest of Bowland. The children renamed it to Mount Thunder for the stories, and we renamed our local city as Sunburst City, thanks to the beautiful sunsets and sunshine that we get here. Through lockdown, instead of just making up the stories, I decided to put them into rhyme. We've always loved rhyming picture books, and there had to be a book about each dragon. So I committed to writing a set of 10. All have been written and 6 are published now, including a Christmas one. I think it was after lockdown and being so isolated during lockdown, I set myself a challenge of walking up this hill 40 times in 4 months. I just turned 40. I wanted to get my fitness back. And coming up here was really inspiring. It was getting away from the day-to-day, away from the messy house and the jobs to do. And I came up here and it was so inspiring, the view, the fresh air. And as I was walking up and down, I would find myself smiling, thinking about all the little adventures, how the dragons could help each other, how their stories could intertwine. And as I'd get down, I'd get back into the house and I'd just be at the laptop then, tapping away, thinking, right, this is what they're going to do next. That's what's going to happen. I'd be taking notes about the next book and the next book. And I thought, I just really want to share these in case they bring any amount of joy, like the joy we'd had. We'd sometimes be out and about looking for, I wonder if that was a dragon that just nipped off there, or maybe a dragon's left that there. And sometimes it just helped entertain the kids when we were waiting at the train station, you know, is that a dragon announcing? So it brought us a lot of fun and a lot of entertainment, and I just love to think that maybe some other families could enjoy that too.
We're going to read Theo's birthday.
Outside Sunburst City, where the hills are wild and green, live a group of 10 old dragons that most humans haven't seen. They work and have adventures in a secret world of wonder, while living in a hidden cave that's halfway up Mount Thunder. They sneak around so humans don't know where they all have been. Just 2 brave children help their dragon friends remain unseen.
Theo's a mechanic, Bob announces for the trains, Lucy is an athlete, Harry unblocks drains, Millie is a writer, Olive farms land, Alice is a scientist, Jack makes chairs by hand, Yellowbird's a pirate now retired with crinking knees, Isla is a beekeeper, she's busy keeping bees.
Theo is the biggest one at 17 foot tall. He's purple with green patches and just loves to kick a ball. An excellent mechanic, fixing anything on wheels while he's hidden in a garage pit to work and eat his meals. Theo loves his football, so he trains with all his might. But so that humans didn't see, he always trains at night. This day was Theo's birthday. He was happy as could be. Excited he was now, a chipper 103. His dragon friends were planning on his birthday at nightfall. They would throw a birthday party with a cake shaped like a ball. This present would be perfect. He would think it was so sweet to combine his favourite team game with his favourite thing to eat. These dragon friends are never seen, but certainly are heard, being expert on the telephone and at the written word. On the far side of Mount Thunder, a communication mast means their internet connection's always super duper fast. Bob searched the internet and phoned a baker in the town who could bake a giant cake, but as he wrote the order down, he questioned, 3 foot wide, sir? Are you sure that size is right? Will the people at your party have a super appetite? Bob laughed a flame-filled giggle as he reassured the baker, yes, a 3 foot football, please. Will it be ready later? It will, the baker promised. You can pick it up at 4, but I'm really quite concerned about it fitting through the door. At times like this, the dragons really need a chaperone, for an order can't be picked up by a dragon on his own. The Sunburst City Dragons had 2 friends who were so helpful, and in keeping dragons secret, they had proven fundamental. Matt and Alex Walker lived nearby and could be trusted. They would often help hide dragon clues so none of them got busted. Bob let out his special roar and patiently did wait for the children to come running to their hidden garden gate. He told them of his brilliant plan to get the cake at 4, but he'd need their help to get it as he cannot use the door. The children told their parents they would play out for a while, then they jumped upon the dragon's back and flew off with a smile. They landed near the back door of the baker's in the street, knowing Bob had made a cunning plan of how to move the treat. The children paid the baker, saying, thanks, the cake is great, while Bob lifted up the kitchen roof, tied ropes around the plate. He raised the cake up slowly, staying out of human sight. Then the children ran back laughing and got ready for the flight. The dragon flapped his wings and they took off to fly up high, thinking this must be the only birthday treat up in the sky. As they placed the football cake upon the pitch that's on Mount Thunder, they smiled with joy that all went well without a single blunder. Theo flew back home above the clouds high in the skies. He neared the cave in shock as he could not believe his eyes. A dragon birthday party and his favourite humans came. Then to top it off, a brand new ball was ready for a game. Excitedly his friends stood round the pitch all holding bowls. Theo thought, I will surprise them. I'll swoop down and score some goals. With great strength he picked up speed, his eyes fixed on the ball, thinking when it hit the net, amazing goal, the crowd would call. He flew down low, with wings out wide to where the ball was sat, then pulled back his claw and swung his leg to give the ball a whack. But as his front claw struck the ball, his friends all gasped in fright. Theo thought this ball was far too soft, something wasn't right. Bits of cake flew through the air and splattered in the bowls. The penny dropped as Theo laughed. I didn't score some goals, but better still, the cake is served. They burst into applause, while the birthday dragon ate his treat straight off his sticky claws. Bob flew the children home while all the others tidied up. Theo loved his birthday party and could not believe his luck. Dragon clans around the world heard of this party, no mistake, as the only birthday party where a dragon kicked the cake.
Next time you're at the baker's and you see the cakes they eat, just think maybe that baker baked a dragon's birthday treat. Look all around, check high and low for clues you may have missed. For if you find a few, you may prove dragons do exist. We're going to read Lucy's Marathon. Theo's a mechanic, Bob announces for the trains. Lucy is an athlete, Harry unblocks drains. Millie is a writer, Olive farms the land. Alice is a scientist, Jack makes chairs by hand. Yellowbeard's a pirate, now retired with creaking knees. Isla is a beekeeper, she's busy keeping bees.
Lucy is an athlete who just loves to run and sweat. She'll run in any weather, be it windy, warm or wet. She's 8 foot tall with scales of bright lime green with yellow spots. Her hobby is to cook and she just loves to make hot pots. Now how Mount Thunder got its name you may have stopped to wonder. When Lucy runs sounds so loud and sometimes loud as thunder. This dragon trains all day. It puts a smile upon her face, but she has a hint of sadness as she's never run a race. This must be quite impossible, as dragons can't be seen, but she cannot shake the feeling that to race would be her dream. The Sunburst City Dragons had 2 friends who were so helpful, and in keeping Dragon's secret they had proven fundamental. Matt and Alex Walker lived nearby and could be trusted. They would often help hide dragon clues, so none of them got busted. As a thank you, Lucy left the kids some gingerbread. Their telly caught her eye, and so she hid behind their shed. A camel and a llama lined up ready at the start of a 26-mile marathon. Could anyone take part? She watched the race aghast and then flew home with all her power. Could she take part next year and run past such a tall clock tower? These dragon friends are never seen, but certainly are heard, being expert on the telephone and at the written word. On the far side of Mount Thunder, a communication mast means their internet connection's always super duper fast. Excitedly she searched the internet for information, then completed and submitted her first road race application. The next few weeks were tense. She waited patiently to hear, could a Sunburst City Dragon run the marathon next year? At last the email landed. It said, Lucy, yes you can run the marathon next year. So she devised a training plan. She started running further, more than she had ever run. Every single muscle ached, but strangely it was fun. No time was wasted planning what fun costume she should wear. She simply bought a wig so she could run with purple hair. The night before the race, she flew down to the busy city, sneaking round at night to see the sights that were so pretty. Bob told her of a place to stay, a secret railway station. She unpacked her trainers, vest and wig to finish preparation. In the morning, Big Ben chimed. She woke and quickly dressed in her wig of neon purple and her number 20 vest. She snuck out to the surface, took her place within the group. Her tummy butterflies were busy flying loop-the-loop. She paused to look around. The sight was truly so fantastic. 100 different costumes, all held up with thick elastic. Thankfully, she thought, my costume is so super slick, and that should help me run this epic road race super quick. The gunshot sounded loudly as the groups jogged forward slowly. Lucy saw a costume Theo'd love, a football goalie. The racers picked up speed now, jogging fast, then running faster. Strangely, she was overtaken by a Jedi Master. The race course crossed a bridge over the river quickly flowing. The crowds cheered loudly, helping tired runners keep on going. Then Lucy saw a tumble as an athlete lost his stride. He thumped upon the floor, so Lucy stopped right by his side. His costume was a dragon. Lucy laughed and helped him up. She gave a friendly smile and handed him a water cup. The dragon gave a wink and said, that's really very kind. It's my good luck a Sunburst City Dragon was behind. Lucy stood there staring as the dragon bounded on. Overtaken by a rhino, she remembered she should run. The race was hard. She was so pleased to cross the finish line. She'd earned a golden medal with a super bridge design. Exhausted, Lucy rested, then crept down a quiet street. She flapped her wings and headed home to rest her achy feet. Flying high, she thought of all the tales to tell her friends. Near the cave, she looped the loop, then started to descend. Her dragon friends were huddled round a screen to watch a show, and when she flew down closer, she saw one she didn't know. Matt and Alex saw the race upon their TV screen and told the Dragon Clan, so they'd all seen what she had seen. Theo gave a fiery laugh with arm wrapped round his buddy. This was the runner she'd helped up. His claws were sore and muddy. Theo said, I think you've met my friend. Here's Griff from Wales. We've planned a hot pot party, so both eat and rest your scales. All the dragons celebrated Lucy's race debut. While Lucy smiled with happiness, dreams really do come true.
Next time you watch some runners dressed up in a running race, just think maybe a dragon has a real dragon face. Look all around, check high and low for clues you may have missed. For if you find a few, you may prove dragons do exist.
So we've got a spin-off story to do with an area called Ironbridge. So one of Bob's friends called Bridget lives down in Ironbridge, and Bob goes down there for a holiday and they have an adventure. And the folk down at the Ironbridge Museum, Ironbridge Gorge Museum Trust asked for a dragon story. They have local legends about dragons down there, so it seemed to make sense to do a collaboration. So that's coming out this summer. That's due out any day now, and they're going to be doing a couple of trails down there in the summer holidays and the October half-term holidays, all based on Bridget and Bob's story.